guys? It's Luke, and you're watching Luke the Gathering. We had another draft for Innistrad Midnight Hunt on Friday, and I just wanted to talk about it a little bit, show you the deck that I made. I like the deck. I didn't do that well with the deck. I wish I did a whole lot better, because I think I got some good cards, but it just wasn't meant to be, I guess. I went 1 and 2, so I won 1 round and lost 2 rounds, although I feel a little bit better about this week because in the 1 round I did lose, I did get a game from it, went down to the wire, and then in the first game I just got blown out, and that person I think ended up winning the entire tournament, which with like a really great deck. So I guess I don't feel as bad. I thought this deck could have done better, but you'll see what it is, and you can let me know what you think the potential of the deck is. I'd love to hear from you. And so I feel, like I said, just a smidge better because I went 0-3 last week. I went 1-2 this week, so hopefully next week 2-1. Is that too much to hope for? Probably. But let me give it my best shot and see what I can do in draft. I'm going to keep practicing on Arena, try to get better that way. But let's go ahead and turn the camera around and check out the cards from this draft. All right, as you can see, I went with white, and it was actually white and black. So I went with white and black. Yeah, decent, but I think my overall thoughts, at least in the very beginning, was, you know, in the games that I did lose, sometimes I got just run over because the other creatures were just a higher quality than mine. Mine would die really fast, even with Disturb. You know, they just did not perform well, and in the air, their medium, sort of like mid-low guys were just better than my guys overall, and that wasn't a great feeling. But let's see who we got. We got Chaplain of Arms, 1-drop, first striker, ward 1, Disturb for 4. Chaplain of Arms, not that bad. He's an uncommon. However, I actually never got Chaplain of Arms out. It would have been cool to change him into the Chapel Shieldgeist with flying and first strike. That's what my goal is. I was trying to get like these guys to be disturbed, get more value out of them, have them fly. That would have been pretty nice. But this guy never came up for me. I was really sad. Gavin Trapper. This guy can tap the target creatures. Really good for Coven because he has a 0 power, and that counts for Coven. Coven was actually a pretty big deal for me. And so, yeah, Gavin Trapper, not bad, actually. I think worked well. Flare of Faith in a humans deck, kind of like what I have. Most of my guys are humans. +3/+3 and indestructible at instant speed. This was a great card for me. I had 2 of these. It worked really, really well. Came in handy quite a few times. Soul Guide Griff. This is a card that I added into the deck a little bit later on after my first round. I felt like I needed something more in the air, so I put this in there. I mean, it's okay. 3/4, 4/5. It can exile a target card from a graveyard, which is huge, but honestly, it didn't make a huge difference. Candlegrove Witch, 2-drop, 2 for 2 for 2. And with Coven, it gains flying. Candle Witch Grove, I think, is an okay card. Just it didn't do a whole lot for me. Now, here are some of the cards I wish did better. This type of card, Beloved Beggar. This is the kind of card where when they die, they become beastly, like way good. This guy becomes Generous Soul, Flying Vigilance, for 4. That's great. However, I had this card and another one, which I ended up just taking them all out by the 3rd round, which is the round I won. They didn't do a whole lot. I couldn't get them to, or this one needed to die. Never did. And then the other one needed someone else to die. So, you know, you want things to die, and if they don't die, then nothing really happens. So, didn't do a whole lot. Olivia's Midnight Ambush. This is a really nice removal card. Nothing really much to be said about that. Search Party Captain, also pretty good. This one lets you draw a card when he ETBs. That's really sweet. Also cost 1 less for each creature you attacked with this turn. I don't think I employed that part of the card because a lot of times I felt like I was on the defensive. Even though this is more of an aggro deck, it's supposed to be an aggro deck, being more defensive was not good. It was definitely not good. This is a card I put in, Sun Gold Barrage, because it destroys a target creature with toughness 4 or greater. After the first couple of games, I was like, oh my gosh, I need to put this card in because the creatures that I'm facing are just bigger than me. And usually then they'll get 2 creatures, and then with 3 creatures, and I'll just be like, shake my head, I'm done. Like, I can't get through at all. And so the crazy thing is, like, a lot of these creatures that are a little bit bigger, they're not even like mid-game creatures. They're like early mid-game creatures. So they come out early. And so a lot of guys just stopped me. I really needed something like this to get rid of bigger guys. I really like Dual Craft Trainer. I ended up drafting 2 of him. This was great. When there's Coven, he can give double strike to a creature that you control, so including him. That is really, really nice. And actually, I could have won. I could have been 2-1 actually. This guy was in the air, but I didn't have Coven. I needed to do 6 damage. I had like 3 guys with 2 power, this guy with 3, another guy with 3. This guy was in the air and could not hit for 6, which would have won me the game because they didn't have any flyers to block in that particular instance. I couldn't do it. Ended up swinging in for like, I don't know, 2 or 3, like with some other creature. And then they won the next turn, which I knew would happen. But don't you just hate it? Could not get any sort of Coven on that particular turn. Very sad. See, Lunarch Veteran, just 1 for a 1/1 with Disturb, really cool. I don't know what happened, but I had a bunch of 2 power, 3 power stuff out there. Flare of Faith, also super convenient. If you're trying to get Coven, I actually activated Flare of Faith to give me Coven in order to enable me to do some of the stuff I did. So, cool stuff. Ecstatic Awakener, I like this guy. 1/1 comes out first turn, pokes a little bit, and then you can sacrifice something. It's better than like a zombies deck. Sacrifice the zombies and get zombie and then get Awoken Demon for 4. Pretty cool. I actually subbed in 2 silver bolts just because in my last round, and this is the last iteration of the deck that I was playing against werewolves. So this thing insta-kills werewolves. So it had to be in there. Did its job. It was nice to sideboard that in. Here's a Lunarch Veteran. I got 2 of those. Borrowed Time is really a really good removal spell. I like it a lot. When it ETBs, you get exile a target non-land permanent, so it doesn't have to be just a creature. It could be like an artifact, which I ended up doing. Somebody ended up Curse of leeching me, and really early too. And that would have been a thorn at my side. I borrowed Time it, and it was done. That was really nice. So, Borrowed Time. Really good removal spell. Glad I picked it up. Clarion, Cathars. You can create a 1/1 human creature token. That's all right. Here's the other Dual Craft. Morning Patrol. This one's actually decent because it has 3 toughness, which lets it stay around a little bit longer, which is what I was having trouble with, just having things stay around. But Morning Patrol also does well because if it dies, it becomes a 2/1 flying with Vigilance, which isn't too shabby either. So, that's not bad. Gavin Silversmith. I had 2 of these. I ended up I took 1 out. The +1/+1 I think is great. I think he's a really good card. I don't know. I just couldn't get enough out. I don't know. Gavin didn't do a whole lot for me that I wanted him to do. So, ended up taking 1 out. I forget for what. Maybe for that Flying Goose thing. But Gavin was there. Both of them were in there for a long time. And he did give me those +1/+1s, except even when adding those +1/+1s, I was so frustrated that creatures were still bigger than mine, which I was just not happy with. Got Adeline, Resplendent Cathar. Only was in 1 game towards the end. When she was out, this was great. Whenever you attack, for each opponent, create a 1/1 human creature that's tapped and attacking. That's so good. Plus, I was sort of playing a white weenies deck, so the more weenies you have, the stronger Adeline is. So just an overall really powerful card. I wish I got this card out more than the one time I got him out. This was awesome too. The Mask of Grizzle gives a creature flying and lifelink, and then If the creature dies, you can pay X life, where X is its power, and then you can draw that many cards. This is just a cool card, a big card that can really just be really scary. Again, I got this card off in my last game, and the guy just quit because I was like, he couldn't deal with it. And Brutal Cathar. This is removal in and of itself. Brutal Cathar. When this creature enters the battlefield, you get to exile an opponent's creature. That is sweet. And when it's nighttime, it turns into the Moonrage Brute, which has first strike and ward. That's awesome. And then when it turns back, you get to exile another creature. So you want it to flip between day and night. Brutal Cathar is brutal. It's such a good card. I love it. It did really, really well for me. So this was good. But I do have to give a shout out to the little girl who beat me. I think she's like in middle school. I don't know. I don't really know if she is, but I think she's in middle school. She might be a high schooler, really young. Man, that was the one I played who I think ended up winning the tournament that day. But she just completely annihilated me. So shout out to her. Okay, you youngins out there, just going nuts. Okay, here are the cards that were in the sideboard. Morning Patrol, Soul Guide Griff. I had a bunch of these. Unruly Mob, Morning Patrol again. Actually, one of my first picks was this Hound Tamer. I thought I might be going green. This is a really good green card. 3/3 trample, and puts +1/+1 counters on other creatures. That's kind of nuts. Covert Cat Purse was very I was like, I'm gonna put this guy in. I ended up not putting. He has a Disturb as well. Flying Death Touch. I should have had this guy in. I don't know what I was thinking. Should have been in the deck. This was in the deck for a little bit. More Crit Behemoth. I don't think a lot of people use this guy. He's so strong. It comes down for 5, a 5-drop, but I guess he can get removed really easy. Sunstreak Phoenix. I only took this because it was the Mythic, and I was like, if I play red, probably gonna want to play this, but ended up not really doing red at all, or blue. Crawl from the Cellar, Siege Zombies, another Gavin. I told you I took one out. Immolation, Bereaved Survivor. This is the one. This is the one where if someone else dies, you can flip it, and then you get the Dauntless Avenger 3/2. And then it can also, when this is attacking, can bring back a creature card with mana value 2 or less, tapped and attacking. So that's really good. Just never got it to work. I did draft another Sun Gold, another Morcrit. There's the other Bereaved Survivor. Tokens, code. And then they gave us a promo pack, which was cool. I opened it in the video last time, but here it is just out here. I got a Yasharn Implacable Earth, Gavany Dawnguard, Curse of Shaken Faith, and then they gave us all Bolas's Citadel as a promo for just coming out to play. That was cool. It's always cool to get these promos. Got a number of them now, playing in these tournaments at Davis. Cards and games in Davis. Lots of fun. Let me know what you think of the deck. How did I do drafting it? What would you have changed? I did make changes throughout the tournament, so the sideboard did change. You just saw sort of the last iteration of the deck against sort of a Werewolves player. And yeah, there you go. Thanks for watching. I will see you next time.